Hi guys, it's been a while, hasn't it? I know I haven't been uploading as much, and I have reasons for that. I'm now subbing as a teacher. I work almost every day. I've had COVID, as some of you were aware. I've had funerals to attend, and just all around a busy year so far. But I will continue to upload regardless. I just don't know my schedule, as I don't know what's gonna happen. But like I said, I'll always keep uploading. I have so many stories I've already half written. I just need to finish them. And one series at a time. The artwork is by Pastelkittygoreart. All the series, including this one, are written by me. I will be voicing Marinette, Ladybug, and the narrator. Diz will be voicing Adrien and Cat Noir. TitaniumKitten will be voicing Plag and Luka. And Tikki will be voiced by Etsuko. Now, as you've been waiting, Chapter 42. Instant worry overwhelmed them as they raced back to her side.
Marinette, are you okay?
Luka asked.
Princess, what's wrong?
Adrien said worriedly. Marinette looked up at Adrien and Luka as they were staring at her with worried expressions, waiting for her response. I had another memory, she said hoarsely through the tears. Adrien and Luka exchanged looks, knowing whatever the memory was couldn't have been good considering the fact that Marinette was crying. I was with Luka, and he did the same stutter with my name, but it embarrassed me. Well, that isn't why I was crying, though, Marinette said, wiping her tears, yet new ones filled their place.
Then what made you cry?
Adrien asked.
Did I do something to upset you?
Luka asked. No, that was the good memory. I had two with Luka in them. You were comforting me. I was walking, and you asked if I was all right. You were riding a bike and had a guitar with you. I said I was fine. I lied, and you knew I was lying. Then I started crying, and you started comforting me. Your guitar fell into the ground as you held me. I'm not sure why I was upset, but I can feel the pain I was going through, Marinette said, placing her hands near her eyes to shield them so Luka and Adrien couldn't see. Luka glanced over at Adrien and knew it was Adrien's fault that she was crying so long ago. Adrien sighed and leaned down to her, then smiled as he pulled her into a comforting hug. Marinette was caught off guard, and she looked up at him, letting the tears stream down her cheeks that instantly started to soak into his shirt.
It's okay, Princess. Even if you feel those feelings, you made it past those dark times, right?
Adrien smiled. Marinette blinked and sniffled. He was right. She had Kagami, she had Luka, she had Alix, she had Adrien, and Cat Noir, even if they were the same person. She had all those people she could depend on. Adrien let her go a few seconds later, and she wiped away her last few tears. She smiled at Adrien and Luka. Sorry. It feels like I'm just causing trouble now, Marinette apologized.
Don't worry about it. You'll remember at your own pace. Don't push yourself. Whether you remember completely or not, we still love the Marinette you are, or you become.
Luka smiled, causing Marinette to blush. Thanks, Luka, Marinette smiled.
I better get going now. Feel free to text me or call me at any time,
Luka said to Marinette.
Oh, and Adrien, keep me in the loop. I'm here to help. I'm your friend, not your enemy, whether you recognize that or not. I've made mistakes, I know. I won't make the same mistakes again,
Luka said, looking at Adrien with a determined face before taking his leave. Adrien watched as Luka left, and as Luka shut the door behind him, Adrien stood up and landed on the bed with a thud. Marinette looked down at him with a surprised look, wondering why he was so emotionally drained. What's the matter? She asked.
Let let's go downstairs and play some video games with your dad. We need to spend some quality time with them before they leave.
Adrien smiled. Adrien? Can I ask you something? Marinette asked quietly.
Yeah? What is it?
He asked, turning his head back to look at her. Why didn't I choose to leave to go to the US with them? Do I love you that much that I would choose to stay with you over my parents? Marinette said, her face bright red. Adrien's face lit up bright red and felt his mind going blank, wondering how he could respond.
Well, we love each other. And yeah, I did have a part to play in you staying. You're graduating as well. With you being Ladybug, also probably played a big role in it as well.
Adrien sighed, internally thinking about how much the old Marinette must have gone through. Oh, so it wasn't just because we loved each other? Marinette asked. I had Ladybug responsibilities.
Yeah, well, you were the guardian after all. Why do you ask?
I'm not the guardian anymore. What's stopping me from leaving now? Marinette looked at him. That was it. Was she changing her mind? Was she going to go to the US? She was going to leave him after all? No. No. No! He couldn't lose her. She was regaining her memories.
But Marinette, you're getting your memories back.
He asked, hoping that would be enough. From what you told me, what does that matter? I can't be Ladybug anymore. I'm not the guardian anymore, Adrien. I'm not useful. I'm useless, Marinette frowned.
You're not useless.
He frowned. It's hard to stay with someone you barely know. My heart is telling me to trust you, but my mind is telling me to be rational and leave with my parents. Marinette sighed.
Well, ignore your mind. I've known you since we were kids in high school. I've loved you since high school. Don't go.
He pleaded. You said we've only been dating for like a year, though, Marinette questioned.
Well, I couldn't bring up Ladybug, but I didn't know you were Ladybug. I loved Ladybug for years. Ladybug didn't love Cat Noir. Things happened. Eventually, Marinette loved Cat Noir, and Cat Noir fell in love with Marinette. Adrien was a model rich boy who had to keep up appearances when he was a kid, who was influenced heavily by his father. He had no say of his own. As he grew up and his father got older, Adrien became his own man, got his own say and voice. That's why I want to be with you. I love you.
Adrien pleaded, looking into Marinette's eyes. Adrien, I wish I could return your feelings. I only remember bits and pieces. Marinette felt him touch her hand and looked down at her hands. Adrien was now positioned in front of her, his hands laying gently on top of hers. Marinette slowly looked up and was met with his green emerald eyes looking into hers. She saw him leaning into her, and eventually felt the tip of his nose press against her skin, but not yet kissing her. He had stopped, waiting for her to come the rest of the way. His eyes were closed, waiting. Marinette held her breath, looking at him. Again, her mind told her to retreat, but her heart was beating so fast, tempting her to proceed. She pushed herself forward and felt his lips against hers. The familiar warmth surrounded her. She felt his nose against her skin and lips against her own, and eventually felt his hand caress her cheek ever so gently. She knew that everything he had said was true. This feeling. She loved him. A bubbly warmth inside of her heart started to resonate within her and spread throughout her body until it went to her mind. Once the warmth got to her head, she felt that migraine pain once again, causing her to jerk away. Adrien's eyes shot open. Seeing her hold her head in pain, he sat in horror, as he could do nothing for her. Marinette was curled into a fetal position in pain, with Adrien hugging her tightly, since that was all he could do for her. As the pain was intensifying for Marinette, tens of thousands of memories were being shown through her mind at a time. About a minute later, Marinette sat up in silence. Adrien looked at her, wondering if she were all right.
Are you okay?
He asked, worried. I remember everything, I think, Marinette said.
Wait, what?
Adrien said with a shocked face. I think I remember everything, Marinette said with a slight smile. Adrien blinked several times and hugged her tightly. He then pulled away from her and opened his jacket pocket, letting Tikki and Plag out. Tikki! Marinette smiled with tears in her eyes. Marinette! Tikki said, flying over to her friend. Tikki and Marinette both hugged one another, both almost crying from their reunion.
I'm so glad you're alright, Marinette. We were all so worried.
Tikki exclaimed. I'm sorry I made you all worry. I'm fine now. Marinette smiled.
What about my Kwame? You remember him?
Adrien said, pointing to the little Kwame with cheese in his hands. Oh, yeah, how could I forget about our adventures as Lady Noir? Marinette winked.
Oh, my lady, I'm so glad you're back.
Adrien said, hugging her once again. Tears started to fill his eyes. Adrien, you know I remember before as well, prior to remembering everything. Marinette smiled.
You mean when Alix, Luka, and Kagami were here?
Adrien questioned. Everything, Marinette laughed. Then everything fell silent. Adrien looked at Marinette. Her happy attitude fell serious. This is bad. Luka knows you're the guardian now, Marinette sighed.
I'm sorry, milady. Wait. I have no idea how to be the guardian. What are we going to do?
Adrien said with a worried frown. I'll explain in detail later, like we talked about. Let's go spend time with our mom and dad. Marinette smiled, getting off of the bed.
Are?
Adrien asked, confused. Adrien, you've been a part of our family for a long time. You should know that. Also, I love you too. Marinette smiled, hinting to the speech he gave her before their kiss. Adrien's face lit up red as he smiled, and he stood up from the bed as well. They both made their way to the bedroom door, letting Tikki and Plag return into Adrien's jacket pocket. They went downstairs to find Sabine and Tom already ready with video games set up on the TV and dinner almost ready. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, you can go check out some of my other videos like Thunderstorms, which is Season 1, Downpour, which is Season 2 of Thunderstorms, The Butterfly That Brought Us Together, and so on. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!